of that song.
Love it,
Good
dude.
time. All right, guys, this is my first live stream, so please be patient. I am still learning the ropes, but it's nice to be here, and it's nice to talk to my friend Rob. Rob, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Nuke. How are you?
Good. I just wondering where you get your shirts from, man. You've been killing the shirt game recently.
Believe it or not, I got them off of Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some outfit. I'll have to find the link for them. But of course, I had the belly dancer measure me, measure biceps, chest, all that shit. These are not custom. They're not quite that cool. But they were something that I was like, hey, I kind of want to, update the wardrobe. And
Mhm.
so I decided to take a chance on these guys. And I was very impressed. The one when I got the measurements down and figured out, oh, okay, this is what my size is. Then I was able to order it where when they showed up, it's not like, oh, they're either too small or they're too big. They fit just right. And I'm even gonna order a couple of more because I'm like, man, they're comfy. And the fun thing is, kids in the chat, kids in the replay, it's not silk because I've had silk and silk is great, but silk is expensive and silk is a bitch to clean and take care of.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you what, this feels like silk and women like to touch. If she's
Um,
into you,
write
she
that one down.
touch.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Every woman I've met, they're all like, oh, what is that? And they start to touch, and it's like, oh, well,
Yeah.
hello there.
Yeah, and then they feel the muscles and all
All
that.
that shit, man.
It's
All
such a
that
good,
shit.
it's such a good excuse. Yeah, you'll have to put me onto those. I'll put them on, especially for they look good. You know what? For like salsa nights, just to go.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, dude. You'd be fucking killing it. All
Yeah,
right. Yeah. I'll send you some links to them. So
yeah.
definitely.
All right.
Def-
Well, we'll jump right into this first question.
okay.
So, first off, Rob, for I'm sure everyone that follows me probably follows or knows you, but could you please introduce yourself to the crowd, to the audience out there?
Fair enough. I love it. I am Rob from RobSays.net. I'm currently 51 years old. I've been married, divorced, been in the LTRs, found the red pill, all
Mm,
that kind of stuff, and then got truly red pilled, which only happens actually at the hands of a woman or, the whammon, as a lot of
yeah,
guys like to say.
trademark. Yeah.
Yeah, no shit, trademark. Okay. I've been doing this now since, well, I started doing all this shit back in 2018. So for the last 4 or 5 years, type of thing, is when I've been doing it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. But it's one of those things that I've had some experience like you, Nuke,
Hmm.
that a lot of guys don't know and haven't had. And I wanted to share it
Yeah,
because there's too many things guys get hung up on that
that don't matter.
don't matter at all. And when I see it show up, I'm like, well, there's a guy who doesn't fuck.
Hmm.
Shit like that. That it's like, oh, guys, this isn't dating, relating, mating, whatever you want to call it. It's not as hard as you think it is. It's really not. Because since I got divorced and even the LTR that I had where we cohabitated, all that was 4 years. And it was great until it wasn't. All the different relationships I've had, guys, they've all been phenomenal. I just wished I'd done it when I was Nuke's age, when I was, in my 20s, all that shit. So that's why I'm here.
Yeah, very important component to the space because like I feel like lately, I've been in the red pill space since like 2013. So
Oh, wow. You've been
yeah,
here for a minute.
for like 10 years, right? So I've seen like the cycles and the ups and downs, and I can tell you right now the most disturbing thing for me is just like it's just the really young guys, like early 20s, mid 20s, are the ones that want to make and like be the ones to like produce the advice and go out there. And I'm like, you have to get battle tested, man. You have to get out there and you have to experience life. And I'm not just saying that your experiences don't matter, but right, like it used to be that like we share experiences on the forum, and there's always a guy, a more experienced gentleman, and I'd be like, "Hey kids," or "Hey guys," or "It's actually like this," and trust me, you know. And that's the internet used to be a lot like that, but I guess now, you know, it's just the loudest voice and the guy that you know shows the most receipts in cars and fake whatever, you know, is the person everyone wants to follow. But in reality, it's just people who've just been through it, you know.
Oh,
Uh,
absolutely. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm not Andrew Tate, but hey, I've
yeah.
been around the block a couple of times. I've learned a thing or two, but hey, what do I know?
Yeah. But all right, so I'll start with this question, Rob, and we can
Okay.
discuss this. Let me pull this up here. So a lot of people, you know, they kind of obsess a lot about, you know, breakups and
Mm,
things ending, and rightfully so, because they can have catastrophic consequences, and they want to know everything and go into a relationship having complete control of the outcome, or at least, you know. So see, you laugh. So what are the signs that a girl, a woman, a whammon will leave you? Give me like your top three, and then
mm.
give me three that just no one really like, people you think people won't know. So
Okay. Well, let's
yeah,
start with the ones that everyone loves and everyone throws out there and all of that. So, number 1, you're with
yeah.
her for a period of time. Maybe you're cohabitating, maybe you're not. But you've been with her for a minute. Okay? So 6 months, a year, and she decides to go and hit the gym. Okay.
Mm,
Maybe she had been at the gym before and then she kind of fell off and you fell off, and because churros and taquitos and tacos and life was good, and then she decides, man, babe, I gotta go hit the gym.
mhm. So
That's
all of a sudden getting
probably
fit
one
out of
of
nowhere.
right. That's, to me, is probably, as far as the idiots on Twitter and one of the obvious ones, that it's like, oh, time to sit up and take notes, guys. Time to sit up and pay attention.
Mhm.
Okay. If
Yeah,
she's
that's an obvious one.
deciding to hit the gym, you probably ought to be doing the same if you haven't already. Okay.
Mhm.
But the regular average guy is not going to the gym. Hey, I don't go to the gym. Okay. My job is the fucking gym. So, hey, that's just how it is. That's, how
Mhm.
I keep my svelte figure.
Yeah.
It,
Yes.
it is for real. It is. It's physically demanding.
Yeah.
But if she decides to hit the gym out of nowhere, out of the blue, she's just like, yeah, I think I'm going to go to the gym. That's time
Mhm.
for you to sit up and take notes. That's
Yeah.
not time to accuse. That's
Mhm.
not time to get
Very important.
weird or paranoid. Yeah, oh yeah, I want to come back to that,
Yeah,
about
I'm writing this one down. Hit the
okay.
gym.
But that is something that you probably ought to take notes.
Yeah.
As far as common ones, that one's probably the biggest one that I can think of off the bat. I want to hear your take, because when it comes to the more uncommon ones that I think we're leading up to, maybe they're more common to you, Nuke, but to me, because it's that whole hindsight is 2020. After the bomb goes off and shit happens,
That's when all the clarity comes. Yeah.
right? That, you and I both understand that, but there are some more subtle things that I think can pop up that,
Oh yeah.
again, it goes back to paranoia and a whole bunch of other shit. But I want to hear your take on, what do you think are more common besides obviously hitting the gym or whatever.
Common ones. All right. So I would say another common one. She I mean, obviously, she goes out with her friends more often. Like
Okay, hanging
now,
out with the
now,
girlfriends.
yeah, but like it doesn't it as it changes. Like it's not like because if you knew her and she liked to go out, especially with you, then
Mm-hmm.
it's like okay, then But it's like all of a sudden, she was a homebody, and then she was, hey, I want to
Switch
go,
up.
however you feel about your woman going out to have drinks. But like if she changes up her routine and puts herself in situations where
Mm.
she can meet other men, or at least playfully flirt with other men. Um,
Mhm.
I would say that's a big one. I think really
Mhm.
big pattern changes in general, that you'll notice.
Mm.
Things that and as a guy, like here's the thing, like it's hard to notice these things because you're busy, you got work, you got a lot of things going on in your life, and but I think the biggest thing that men catch on to is just pattern changes. And I would say another one is like dressing, the way she dresses. If she starts
Mm.
dressing much sexier than usual, then she could be, in her like monkey branching phase of trying to catch another
Mm.
guy. So I
Mhm.
would say dressing sexy and going out more often, you
Okay.
know.
And I'm
Um,
not saying you're wrong. No, I actually agree with this.
Now, like
Um,
again, guys will take this and be like, "Oh, she's going to the gym. She's gonna leave me any minute now, any day now, right?" But you should at least go, "Hmm." That's all. That's all.
and that's
Yeah.
it. Here's the thing that a lot of the guys on the terminally online don't understand. I'm kind of gonna cut to the chase a little bit here.
Hmm.
All right. So I have a story.
Oh boy, story
So
time.
it is story time with Rob.
Yeah.
So when my ex-girlfriend decided to leave, it blindsided me. Okay. I didn't see it coming. But the truth was, when I look at hindsight, um, I saw some of the warning signs because there were certain things that made sense after the fact.
Hmm.
But at the time, I didn't want to see it. So, number one, a lot of guys, you need to understand that you are going to be complicit in your own deception.
Ah, okay, that's important. Yeah.
It is. But the caveat is this: you can't go in to a relationship, whether it's short term, medium term, long term, whatever you want to call it.
Hmm.
You can't go in paranoid. You can't go in constantly looking for fire because you saw a little smoke.
Hmm.
Because if you do, one, you're going to be fucking miserable because you're going to be paranoid. You're going to be looking at every little thing. You're going to be evaluating it, questioning it, judging it. And worst case, you're going to become accusatory.
And
You're
it's
going to
life's gonna
call her
suck.
out.
Right, life's gonna suck. You're gonna get
Right.
paranoid.
You're totally going to be miserable. And not only are you going to be miserable, you're going to be miserable to her, which is going to make her miserable. And it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So
Hmm.
you can't walk in going, "Oh, the bitch is gonna leave," and I gotta watch for all these signs. I gotta
Hmm.
look, because she's going to the gym. That means she's gonna leave, or
Hmm.
she's wearing red because that means she's
Right.
ovulating and she's hanging out with a bunch of dudes. Okay,
Hmm.
you can't go in like that because if you do, you are gonna step on your own dick.
Yeah, you don't
Okay,
want
you
that.
just but pay attention. And Nuke brought up something just a little bit ago that I want to riff on here that's the biggest thing. What is outside the norm? Okay. So going back to my ex-girlfriend, again, hindsight's 2020. Before she left, months before she left, she decided she wanted to be more minimalist. So
Okay.
she gave away, sold, um, did the charity thing, threw away a bunch of stuff. And when I saw her doing it, I was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" "Oh, I'm getting rid of a bunch of things I don't need." Oh, yeah, I want to reduce my, carbon footprint, whatever. I didn't think nothing of it. Okay. But she gave away, threw away, and sold a whole bunch of things. Well, that's now when I look in hindsight, I was like, oh shit, you were planning to jump. Because when she finally decided to throw the bomb at me, she had very little that she had to pack up and get rid of, to take with her. Okay. Another one for her was she started hanging with her friends
Oh
and
yeah,
would stay
that's
out a
another
little
one. Yeah.
later. She'd stay out a bit later, where when she finally came home, I'd be like, where the fuck you been? What's going on? Okay. It is that change in behavior. Okay. So a couple more recent examples that are very simple was when I was dating a chick named, I call her Teriyaki. Okay. Well, there's an inside joke to that. But
Okay.
when I was dating Teriyaki, we texted on the regular, we saw each other on the regular, blah, 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 blah. It's all routine, it's all a pattern. You get used to it, you get comfortable, you get complacent. All right. And then one day, all of a sudden, I'm like, hey, good morning. Nothing the whole fucking day.
That's yeah.
I
You
sense a
start to worry. You
disturbance
start
in
to
the
worry
floor.
too. You're like,
Right. Anytime the pattern changes, that doesn't mean get paranoid and get accusatory and
hire a
all
private
that.
eye or something. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if you're at a point that I need to hire a private eye or put a GPS tracker in her car, dude, your fucking relationship's over.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to tell you right now. It's if you are to that point of I need proof that she's up to no good, dude, you already don't trust her. So fucking cut her loose.
hmm
Okay.
You're in hell right now. It's already like,
Oh, you're in the ninth circle of hell at that point, in my opinion. And that's something I learned for me that, man, if I can't fucking trust you, whether it's legit or not, if I'm like, I don't know, man, I'm out. I'm
hmm
just done. I'm just fucking done.
yeah.
Okay. Because if I
No way
don't
to
trust
live.
you, what's
It's
the
no way to
point?
live. Yeah.
Exactly. But anyway, I'm taking your fucking show here,
No,
dude.
dude, keep going. So yeah, basically, um, look for pattern changes, and this is not like realize that these are things that may mean that she's done with you, but that does not merit a nuclear or a cataclysmic response from you. You don't have to turn everything upside down because of this.
Correct.
Um, just move smartly, and if it's okay to like have a suspicion, right? Because it's okay to be suspicious, right? But it's not okay to make yourself look dumb and paranoid. That's not cool. And let's say that nothing is happening, she just wanted to get in shape, or you know she I don't know, she wanted to go on vacation or something, hopefully with you. But like you know that's one of these things is not going to be enough for you to just instantly destroy the relationship just out of the blue, like, oh, you're going out, we're done. Like, it takes a lot more steps before before you should destroy your relationship or nuke your relationship, right? um I would say the number one thing that it's like over, or like you should probably be um ready to call it quits, is like the sex stops, you know or the sex gets, or she becomes unenthusiastic. that, I would say that's the number one thing that guys, ironically, that's the one that they pay attention to the most, because it's not until the sex dries up that they're like, wait a minute, something's wrong here.
Oh
And
yeah. By then, she's already 3 sheets deep into it too. Yeah.
yeah. So I think don't let that be the first thing you notice, right? At least let that be one of the last things where you're just like, okay, I got to get out of here, or it's about to end. But most guys get blind. They say blindsided is because the sex dries up and they're or it sucks or it's unenthusiastic, and then they're like, then the girl leaves or cheats or does whatever, and they're like, I never saw it coming. And I'm like, dude, you have. It's not that you have to be paranoid, but you have to start putting at least so it you have a fighting chance when the event does happen where
Mhm,
at least
mhm,
you have something, because if you don't pay attention to your relationship or and at least have some kind of way to navigate it and pay attention to signs and have that little bit of suspicion, that reasonable suspicion,
mhm.
you're gonna be in the spot where a lot of people, they go online, a lot of men go online, guys, and they're like, I don't know what to do. My girlfriend, my wife won't fuck me, right? And then, um, a lot of guys were gonna tell you like, "Hey, it's been done for a long time." Obviously, not every woman's the same. Maybe a lot of women go through things where they just don't have a libido or don't want to have sex, and that's okay. A month, if your woman's sick for a month and she doesn't want to have sex with you, it's fine, dude. If your
Yeah,
woman's
or if her
pregnant,
job's fucking putting her through hellacious hours
yeah,
and she's working herself to the bone type of thing, it's
yeah,
okay. That's not because, oh, she's monkey branching and she met Chad Thundercock. It's like,
yeah,
no, dude, she's just life happens. Life
yeah.
fucking happens. And she got busy. And so, yeah, she's not in the mood because she's stressing about work.
Hmm.
Because believe it or not, guys, you're not the only thing in her life.
Hmm. Yeah. There's more things going on in her life besides you, especially if you're not married to her
Oh,
and
yeah.
you're just in a like relationship or I don't know. And this goes for all levels. Like you could just be spinning plates and it could be your favorite plate and the sex drops off. And also a lot of girls, here's what I noticed for casual daters, a lot of girls have a lot of trouble leaving men that satisfy them sexually in a casual relationship, right? It's hard, right? Um, women, I had a plate recently complain to me that she feels lonely, and I knew what it was, and she knows what it was, what we had. We were kind of in agreement, right? But like she would complain that her friends all had boyfriends and all that stuff, and she was the only single girl. So I was like, I've started seeing the writing on the wall, like, okay, this is gonna end soon because
Mhm.
she wants that comfort, and she knows that I'm not the type of guy. Even if I wanted to, she has to make that decision, not me, right? Um, and she had a lot of trouble like saying no to like us hanging out. She had, and then finally, like I had a couple trips and the holidays came up and I was distracted by other things and she finally could break free and then she finally, met someone else. But like you understand that like a lot of women if you're casually dating and girls somehow just keep coming back to you, like like in your post, Rob, I think a lot of times it's just like they just have a lot of trouble leaving men that that are just the bad boy or this just the Pookie, the Ray Ray, the Chad, and it it it's hard for them to like emotionally break from that because you gotta understand too, women have a dualistic mating strategy where it's like, they want the bad boy, but they also want the comfort, right? They want the bad boy during the summer, but when it comes to the winter and the winter months, they want that comfort too. So how do they reconcile that, right? So
Right.
keep that in mind. And then for more serious relationships, like we were discussing, like just since you most likely will live with them or spend a lot more time with them than you do, obviously spinning plates and stuff like that. I would say, like um pay attention to what's going on in her life, like there's family emergencies, there's mothers and fathers get sick, sisters betray brothers betray sisters, like not everything is going to be merit you having to get a private eye,
Well, and
or
not everything's about you.
yeah, exactly. And also, maybe you got fat or maybe you started sucking, in life and
Yep.
she's not attracted to you anymore. Like consider all sides. Um, but yeah, I'd say, like you said, Rob, hitting the gym is a big one. because she's getting ready to, she's trying to make herself attractive because she's going to re-enter the sexual marketplace. So, dressing sexy, going out more often, making herself more available. Um, but yeah, those are the big, and then obviously the final, and the people think this is the first straw, but the final straw is she won't have sex with you. That is the final straw. When
Oh, it
she's
is.
no longer wants to have sex with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That's the death. That's the final nail in the coffin.
yeah,
If that's your first indicator, then you deceived yourself.
yeah.
Okay.
You
Because
haven't
I've
paid
done it.
attention.
I've done it. Okay. All the bullshit, all the mistakes, all the beta male blue pill schlub shit. Guys, I've done it all.
Hmm.
Okay. I've been there, and Nuke is absolutely right. If she won't fuck you, that's not your first sign. That was the last sign.
Yeah.
That was the final nail, because there was always something before that. Now, I don't know, Nuke. I want to maybe switch the topic just a touch, or
Okay.
jump ahead, if you will,
Yeah.
because a lot of guys that are going to watch this, whether they're
Hmm.
in the chat now watching it live or they watch the replay, I already hear the unspoken question, which is, guys, how do I prevent this?
Ah, yeah. How do I
Okay.
stop this?
Right. How do I prevent this? How do I not have her monkey branch swing whatever she leaves? How do I get her to not leave? I
Yeah.
have an answer for you guys, and you're not going to like it.
Yeah. Most guys don't like it, but it's just because it's not cool and it's not, masculine or whatever you call it. It's just, you know, um, I would say that for me personally, you just keep, like, your life can't be living in fear that a woman will leave you. Obviously you love the woman you're with, or if she's your wife, you love her. She's your girlfriend, you love her. If she's your plate or, casual, then you really, really like her. But you cannot live in fear thinking that, any day now she's gonna leave. You just kind of have to
Mm.
play it by
Mhm.
ear.
Yep.
And um you don't have control, as much control,
Yes.
like, you don't have the control that you think you do in your relationship. Now, what does that mean? That doesn't mean like you can't set boundaries and all that stuff, right? But understand that humans are humans, and we live in a time where, there's extreme abundance for everyone, right? For men and women, more so for women, but like people get bored, or, people move on and people get tired, whatever.
People change.
People
Mhm.
people change, and that woman you married when you were 25 is probably going to be a different woman at 30.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know,
she'll be different at 30, 35, 40, 50. You better believe it.
yeah, and we no longer have like religion or the culture or society to back us up and making that girl ours forever. Understand that
Mm.
people are, they enter and exit in our lives, and the best we can do, I think the best you should focus on is kind of, focusing on acceptance. And once you accept this and realize how temporary everything is,
Oh, yes.
yeah, then, because like, and also like, with acceptance, self-forgiveness, right?
Mm.
Because it's not your fault. You're living your life, and you're just decided to share your life with someone, right? So, if you're just living your life and you're doing everything right, you're not hurting the person, you're not actively trying to ruin their life, and you're not trying to control them. You're just sharing a life with that person. They don't want to live with you anymore, or do anything, or see you anymore. It sucks. It's okay to feel bad and sad and frustrated, right? And that's easier said than done, right? It's
Oh,
easier.
yeah.
It's easier to tell, yeah, just get over it, bro. It's not.
Yeah,
That's not
get
what I'm saying.
under another chick. You'll be
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. But at the end of the day, like, it's um acceptance is the number one thing that'll give you a big, big advantage in dealing
Mhm.
with the opposite sex, right? And you have
Mhm.
to let them be free and let them do what they want. I can't control women, and
Right.
as much as I wanted to, but that's just not how things work these days.
Well, And it reminds me of both my ex-girlfriend and teriyaki as the two more recent examples. When the ex-girlfriend left, I had all kinds of questions. The biggest one was, why? Why are you leaving? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The truth is, I literally straight up looked her in the eye and said, why are you leaving? Okay. And she gave me a bullshit answer. That's the truth. It was a bullshit answer. She didn't know why ultimately. She just didn't want to be there anymore. She didn't want to do it anymore.
Not even they know. Not even they know.
Right. So asking why, here's your answer, guys. Why do women leave? Because they can. Okay? That's it. You're not going to like that, but when you come to accept that, why did she leave? She doesn't know. It was because of Chad Thundercock, or it was because of a job, or it was because I want to travel, or it was because you're too old, or you're too young, or you don't make enough money, or whatever it is. It doesn't matter. The truth is, she left because she could.
Yep.
And when you come to that realization, it'll fucking hurt, it'll sting, it'll burn. But that's the truth. You know, red pills supposedly about getting to the truth, getting to the heart of the matter. Well, there's your fucking answer. The answer is she left. Why did she leave, Rob? Because she could.
Yeah.
And then the follow-up is a couple of things. One, do you want to be with someone who doesn't want to be with you?
Exactly.
Okay. A lot of guys, hey, let's get rid of no fault and all this other shit. And I'm like, that's not going to solve your problems, because now you're with someone who doesn't want to be with you. Because I've been in both shoes. I've been the guy that didn't want them to leave, but they left anyway. I've been the guy who fucking was done and was like, there's nothing you're going to say or do that's going to change my mind. Let me the fuck go.
Yeah.
Okay? So you come to the realization they left because they could. All right. If you want to know, hey, something's off, if you feel something's off, it probably is. Teriyaki and I used to text all the time, and then all of a sudden it got sporadic and it got, it was off. And that's when I was like, oh, I sense a disturbance in the force. Same thing happened with Velvet, who happened to come back. Okay. Velvet and I, we were texting, we were seeing each other regularly, doing stuff on the regular, and all of a sudden it got all kind of weird. And I was like, oh, I think she's done.
Yeah.
And then she fucking calls. And I'm with the belly dancer at that time, sitting at her house. Yeah. I'm sitting at her house. But I'm like, oh shit, I got to take this call. And I already knew, because I've seen it over and over enough in my own life. I knew what was coming. She was going to tell me goodbye. And she did. And going back to what you said, Nuke, about, she wants the bad boy in the summer and she wants the comfort in the winter. That was Velvet. Okay. She's old enough to understand that when I told her who I am, what I'm about, this is how I am, she accepted that. And I was like, is this something you would like? And she was like, sure. I've never done this before, though, which means non-exclusivity, non-commitment. She's not just a plate necessarily, but she knew I was seeing other people. I've never hid that from the women I meet. I don't hide that. That it's like, look, I date other people. This is how it is. Okay. Yeah. And either they accept it or they don't. And if they do, sometimes, like the belly dancer, they've done it. They've been around the block and they're like, oh, that's right up my alley. Sometimes they're like, well, I've never done it, but I'm willing to try. And I'm like, oh, you sweet thing. Okay.
Yeah.
I know how this is going to go, but okay.
Yeah, and I think that just speaks to your experience, and see how you don't really like, you don't freak out or anything. You're just like, yep, like, what am I gonna do? It's happening. It's already I'm gonna be the last one to find out. So it's like, I'm
Yep.
whatever. You will always be the last one to find out when a girl is done with
Always,
you. Just understand
always.
that you
And
will not.
most of the time, it's you.
Yeah.
It's you choosing to put on blinders and not see it, or it's you choosing to be a miserable, paranoid son of a bitch
Mm-hmm.
that literally creates your own self-fulfilling prophecy.
Correct.
And so, where's that fine line? Well, I'm sorry, Nuke. I didn't mean to walk over you, man.
Yeah, fine. Keep going.
All right. But in my opinion, based on my experience, this is how I look at it. One, there is no permanency, guys, because even if you're with her for 50 fucking years, somebody dies first, whether it's you or her. And there are no guarantees. Okay. There's no guarantee she's going to outlive you. I've seen it in my own personal life. My dad smokes, he drinks, he carries on. Everyone just assumed, mom will outlive dad. Well, she fucking didn't. Okay. You could be married to this woman and life is good and you got kids and all that. And she's out pregnant, walking the 2-year-old in the, or well, the 2-year-old's in a stroller. She's out at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and she's 7 months pregnant. She's got one in the oven and one in the stroller. She's out on a nice spring day. It's 58 fucking degrees. The snow's melting. It's 1 in the afternoon. She takes the kid for a walk and gets hit by a drunk driver. Well, that's oddly specific, Rob. Yeah,
Yes, it
because
is.
it's happened. Okay. There's a guy right now that just got sentenced for doing that. He killed a woman, her unborn child, and fucked up the 2-year-old. Okay. There is a widower, the husband, who's now got to put his life back together. And yet they were happy. They didn't worry about red pill and signs of leaving and all that shit. And she was out at 1 o'clock in the afternoon walking her kid around, and this guy jumped the fucking curb and took her out.
That sucks. Jesus
That's
Christ,
it
man.
is. It sucks, but there's your reality. There's no permanency, guys. And so for me, I always keep in mind in the back of my head that Belly Dancer and I were doing great. Velvet and I were doing great until we're not. Okay.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, Belly Dancer, I just got done texting her right before I did this show. Okay. Got done. We're having a great time. Tomorrow, she could text me and say, Rob, I don't want to do this anymore. She could. Will I be hurt? Yes. Will it, to a degree, devastate me? Again, yes. But I also realize she can walk at any time. But the truth is, I could walk too.
Yeah.
I could text her tomorrow and go, I don't want to do this anymore. And then she gets to be the one that's devastated.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys have to understand there is no permanency. Okay. Because worst case, long term, somebody dies first. Okay. Otherwise, you have to look over at that person, whether you're cohabitating or you're married or you're doing whatever it is. You look over at them and realize today may be the last time that you ever go and do whatever you're going to do. And that's kind of how I live when it comes to relationships, especially, is I look at these women, I fuck them like it's the last time, because sometimes it is.
Sometimes
I look at them as, you're here today, but you may not be tomorrow for whatever reason. Ultimately being that because you could leave. The door is unlocked. I'm not going to stop them if they want to go. Okay. Sometimes, like Velvet, they come back. Sometimes they don't.
exactly.
Okay? Oftentimes they don't. But that's okay. But if you guys are looking for how do I prevent this, you can't. Well, there is one exception, which is don't date. Don't deal with women at all. Be a MGTOW or whatever.
That'll
Go your
solve it.
own.
That'll definitely solve it.
It will. But if you want women in your life, whether you want a wife or a girlfriend or monogamy or non-monogamy, you want to spin plates, it's all the same. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Whatever you want, realize she could potentially leave at any time. You don't obsess over it. You don't get paranoid over it. You just accept it. As
Mhm.
Newt said, and acceptance is the biggest key. You don't have to like it, but you accept it that, hey, today was fantastic. Tomorrow, I don't know. She could wake up and go, I don't want to do this. And her reason is, well, you cheated on me in a dream, or you did this, or you did that, or whatever. The truth is, she left because she could. It's not always monkey branching, because I've seen both. I've seen monkey branching and I've seen not monkey branching.
Hmm.
That she was just done.
Yeah.
That
She, you can't obsess over it, right? You can't control another human being. Probably the only human beings you can control a little bit is your own young children, and even then, you
even
can't
then,
even, yeah.
really the only one you can control is yourself.
And even then, controlling yourself is difficult because you have emotions and you have conflicting thoughts and all that stuff. So I have a quick story time. So I had I had a good casual plate. She was my favorite. She was awesome gal, like very helpful, reliable. Took care of my dog when I needed. Sex was amazing. Like, this girl was very young and also very respectful, but also in the bedroom, it was amazing sex, right? So we would go out and make memories, and I started thinking, like, if this girl starts coming to me for a relationship, I might have to say yes, because I don't see anything. But then, one day, we're still both single and casual, right? So I open up my dating app and I see her profile, right? And it was around late summer, and I saw it. I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, oh, interesting. She's still really looking, and it also turns out that her profile is one of those like top picks, like kind of like,
Oh boy.
yeah. So I was like, okay, well, that's cool. That was an ego pump, because I'm like, this girl's available for me sexually whenever I want. If I would tell her, hey, get ready, we're gonna go get drinks, she'll be ready. If I'm in the area and I say, hey, can you make me a coffee, I'll stop by, she'll say yes. Um, like, I, not to pump myself up, but we had really good sex, and she always wanted more. But you gotta leave him wanting more, Rob. You gotta leave him
Oh
wanting more.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and she really liked me. Never had an argument with her. She never was out of pocket or disrespectful. But then I saw a profile, right? And
Mm.
and then I'm like, okay, cool. So there's no really reason to expect her to like want a relationship, because she's still looking. She's also a standout, or a top pick, or whatever you call it, meaning that she's gonna get attention, a lot more attention than the average gal. And I'm not saying
Mhm.
she was the most pretty, but she knew how to present herself on social media, right?
Correct.
Um, so one of the pictures in her profile was a picture I took of her.
I
So
hate when those come back to bite
y-
you in the ass.
yeah, and that night, a- and then the next day, she came over, and I was like, not paranoid, but I was just like, this is so strange that this girl
Uh-huh.
is wanting to hang out with me and wanting to see me, and dropping everything and dressing up for me and all that stuff. And I'm not spoiling her. We're just going out to drinks. What do you spend on drinks for a girl you're already having sex with? What, $50, 60
If
bucks?
that, if that.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, that's just a lesson that I saw a sign that's like, hey, this girl, any day now, she's gonna be like, ooh, shiny object, and she's gonna dump me. After I discovered that, it took her 5 months.
Wow.
5 months to finally, about a month ago, she told me, I invited her out, and she said, "Hey, I'm sorry, I'm kind of seeing it," but she said it bashfully, like, I don't want to like, oh,
I
but
don't
I'm
want to
seeing
hurt
some.
you.
Yeah, but it was more of a like she was kind of embarrassed, like because she was always the
Mhm.
I don't need any man, and I'm
Mhm.
single, and all my friends have boyfriends, and they never let them do anything, and they're always locked down. And then she's like, I have a man now, we can't see each other anymore, and I'm like, okay. And then in my mind, I'm like, what took this so long? I was waiting, right? I was waiting for this to like blow up, or waiting for her to like make an excuse to leave me. Like, you have too many girls. I'm like, no, you have an open profile. Like, you're not trying to be my girl at all. So stop it. You know? Yeah, and then it just took so long for her to jump ship. But I didn't lose my mind when I saw this profile, or got mad or anything. I was just like, wow, I wonder what's taking her so long. I wonder what it is. And even on the last time I saw her, which was like about a week and a half before she told me, which I had to ask her, like, like I had to
Mm.
prompt her, right?
Mhm.
I stopped by before work because I was in the area, and she made me coffee. We talked. Um, and I was like, well, I'm fully dressed for work, but I'll take your top off and go to town a little bit. And she was into it. She was into it. Like when I walked in through the door and I tried to give her a kiss on the in the mouth, she like moved her head a little bit,
Oof.
and it was like
Mhm.
you could tell. I knew. I was like, okay, she's trying to pull away. Something's up. But hey, she's making me coffee. Whatever. You know. I just hope that she doesn't like the guy's not like walking up the steps or anything like that right now, or sees
Right.
my car, right? So, that's just things that you pay attention to. And then
Mhm.
20, 30 minutes later, we're talking, and I just take off her top, sit her on my lap, go to town, right? And then she's just, I don't want to get too crass, and she starts a little moaning a little bit, and then I put her top back on. I say, hey, I gotta go to work, but it was nice to see you. And then she looks at me with like very sexual, but like, oh, like, why are you doing this to me, right? So basically, I knew that there were signs all along. She even showed up one day with a hickey on her chest from another guy, and I asked her
Mhm.
about it because like it was just too, it was just in my face. She's like, "Oh no, I just something, an excuse." But like I always knew that it was like any day now this girl's
Yep.
gonna do it. And my wonder is like, why did it take so long? Like
Mm.
why did it take so long? And women, when they monkey branch or leave you or whatever, it's usually really like it's some people say it's drawn out, some people say it's short. I think it varies. It's just different for each woman. She
It
needs,
is.
yeah, because she needs to be able to secure the new, or she needs to be set herself up for the breakup, right? Guys, we just break up. We could be in a terrible situation or terrible position to break up with somebody, but we'll do it. We'll do it at our birthday party, at her birthday party. We don't
Yep.
care.
We'll do
Like,
it wherever the fuck we're at. Yep.
yeah, we'll do it over the phone, over text. We'll do it while flying a plane, while driving a car.
Yeah.
We could be driving 80 miles per hour, and she's screaming at us. We'll be like, "I'm done," and she could hurt you. She could throw something at you while you're driving. We don't care. But for girls, when they break up, they have to they have to set themselves up. And here's two dimensions. I'm gonna get really scientific with it, right? They have two dimensions of setting themselves up for the next guy, or for the next lifestyle, or for just plain leaving you, like you said, right? First is the physical, like you were talking about. They'll start selling things. Now, not every woman sells things, but she was getting ready to leave you. She was preparing to leave you. So a lot of women will like sell their belongings.
Yep.
A lot of women will, if they don't have another prospect, they'll start putting themselves in positions. A lot of women will start working a lot more. Will start working a lot
Yep.
because
Yes,
they
they
have to
will.
save. They have to save money for that new apartment they're gonna get, right? If they're your girlfriend, if they're your wife, maybe not, because But like, if a girl starts working a lot, right? She's saving up money, then she's probably thinking, like setting herself financially to bounce.
Yep.
You know, um, and then there's the emotional aspect. The emotional aspect is like I was saying in the story, like she's trying to pull away, right? But understand that if you're that guy and you give her that high of fun and excitement, because we will go out to bars, and like we will be well dressed, and the camera people would follow us. You know that each bar has like a social media person, right? And we get free drinks. And you know, she's a 24-year-old girl, right? She used to be fat, you know, now she's hot. She didn't get this
Oh,
treatment before.
uh-huh.
Her boyfriends were dorks, shorter than her, she told me. And she has this guy that's just like taking her around the town. Everything that she throws at him, he's like I don't, you know, like drama, like I'm 34. Like you're not going to get to me, right? And then you know, I'm a decent dancer and we're having fun. And you know, I just pick her up, and then, you know, like she's doing everything right, so I take her out to dinner, and she's having fun, right? And that for a woman is hard to break away from, right? Because you're going
Mhm.
from fun to boring. You're going from, you know, like you're in a fourth story parking lot. Let's take off our clothes and have fun, right? To, hey, are you coming to meet my parents this weekend? Like, they'd really like to meet you, you know. And that women have to break away from that fun and exciting. And even on that last day I ever saw her naked, or at least half naked, I saw it in her eyes, like she needed that man with sexual prowess to come and, you know, give her that excitement and that energy of dominance, right? And you know, and it's happened, and it happens throughout life. Like I've had women that you know, like the way they emotionally prepare to leave, usually they want to get a couple in before they leave you, right? And that's happened to me recently with like a 4'11" girl. She was super fun. She was a tech girl. She was in tech. Very respectful, and very smart, but very sexual, under, you know, low key sexual. And the day she left me, she was already planning the speech, and she knew. She said, "Are you seeing other people?" And she knew the answer was, for me, yes. I wasn't gonna lie to her, and I couldn't lie to her, right? Women
Right.
already know, they're not dumb,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
But like the night before, it was like fireworks. Like it was like, you know, it was rough. It was a great night, right? But you can see there that, wouldn't you rather be in that position where girls leave, but like they need to get one in because you're just that exciting guy, and they're never gonna, they subconsciously or consciously know, once you leave this guy, this new guy that you found, or this new lifestyle, it's gonna get a little more boring, and that's what you want to be, right? Eventually maybe you want to settle down, and you know, okay, but like you want to be that guy where, yes, you see the signs, great, she's gonna leave you, you know, she's selling her furniture, she's, you know, she's her hobbies changed all of a sudden, she doesn't laugh at your jokes, she doesn't understand what kind of humor, inside joke, she doesn't get your inside jokes even though you've repeated them. She starts complaining about your little habits, like, oh, you do this too much, or, you know, all these little signs that guys don't pick up on until it's too late. You're gonna start picking up on them, and what are you gonna do? This is what you do. You just ride it out till the bitter end. And when I say bitter end, I mean the happy end, right? Because if you know these things are coming, if you see these things, and you see them in the distance, you, as a well-trained, red pill smart, emotionally strong man that knows what the fuck he's doing with women, you'll see this and, like, okay, it's gonna happen, but I'm just going to enjoy this for what it is, and I'm going to enjoy her company. And I don't need forever with this girl. I don't need forever, right? She has made a decision already, and she's smart. She's like, okay, I like this new guy, or I don't, I want to get away, but I'm going to get mine, and mine is going to be great sex, and that's usually what happens. And if that happens to you from time to time, that's good. That means you're an exciting, fun guy who's not controlling, who lets her do what she wants. And she, you know, there's always a high probability that guys like that, when the other guy becomes controlling, boring, or, like, you know, we're describing, like, paranoid, she's gonna come to you, right? So yeah, sorry for the rant, but I just had,
No.
it had to be said, Rob. It had to be said.
No, dude. One, it's your channel, your show,
Yeah.
dude, and you made some great points. The part I want to add to that, that's
Yeah.
my own story, that's similar. I
Hmm.
didn't get the half naked part that
Hmm.
you did,
No,
but
it was great.
when no, and that's why I'm like, damn. Okay, but when I had my moment of truth, my come to Jesus, if you
Mhm.
will, with teriyaki, okay, things had been deteriorating. Things weren't the norm. And so I too, like you, decided to show up at her work because I hadn't heard from her in almost a day, which was not the norm. And I thought, well, I'm gonna do something I don't normally do. I'm gonna just show up. And I did. And she was surprised because, hey, I never did this. I already knew in the back of my mind, back here, shit's off. I sense a disturbance in the force. And I asked myself a couple of questions, which was, does this chick want to see you anymore? And that was the biggest question. And I had to be okay with whatever answer she gave me, whether it's a yes or it's some variation of no.
Yeah.
So I showed up. She's doing her thing, doing her work. She sees me and is, oh my God, and I'm like, hi, she finishes her shift. She introduces me. Oh, this is my boyfriend. Okay, this is my
Boom.
boyfriend. This is Rob. We walk out the door. We're talking. We're shooting the shit. Things seemed okay. But then I had to ask the question because I have to know.
Mhm.
And I'm okay with whatever answer she wants to give me. So we chit chat, talk about work, blah, 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 blah. And I turned to her and I said, so, Teriyaki, do you want to keep seeing me or not? And she stopped and she looked at me and she went, that's a no.
Wow.
By
Yeah,
the
that's a
way,
no. That's an expressive no.
anything other than a yes is a no. Because if she'd said yes, I would have said, okay, cool. Shit's got to change. These things have to change.
Mhm.
Okay. On your end, not mine, yours. Holding the woman accountable. But there's truth in that. But when she went, and I was like, oh, and
The
that's what I
hesitation,
said.
yeah.
When she paused and went, I already knew. And I said it to her. I said, oh, that's a no. Okay. Well, can I get my key back to my place? And she, turns around and handed me my key. And I turned around and handed her key. Said, here you go. And then I said to her, you know where I'm at. You know how to reach me if you change your mind. But I got to go. And then I kissed her goodbye. And then I went, got in my car, and I left.
Mhm.
Because there is no permanency. There is no forever after. Even if you're with her for 50 years, there's no forever, guys. There's no permanency. And they can change. Why did she decide to end things? Even though I ended it. Because I did. I ended it.
Mhm.
Because I was willing, before I ever asked her the question, I had to ask myself, are you prepared for whatever answer she gives you? Are you prepared for her going, no, I don't want to see you? Yep, I'm fucking prepared for that. What does that mean? That means you're going to tell her goodbye. You're going to get in your car and you're going to fucking leave. Okay. It's no different. This is that, standards or boundaries that we talk about or you hear about from other guys. I have boundaries. And I was like, this is okay. We've crossed a line. No harm, no foul. It is what it is. And yes, every relationship's a little different. Every woman's a little different. But this isn't about women per se. This isn't about, trying to read their minds or understand where they're coming from. It's about you. It's about you as the guy. What are you willing to tolerate? What are you not? What is okay? What isn't? If you come from where I do, a place of there's no permanency, they can leave at any time for whatever reason. And the real reason is because they could. It doesn't matter that she monkey branched or she went home to mom and dad or she got her own apartment because she got this job in some other area. Doesn't matter. Okay. You don't need to ask yourself why. The why is because she could. When you can accept that answer and you can look at it and go, oh, there's no permanency. I'm going to just enjoy my time with her for as long as that is, whatever that is. And if she's got to go, I'm going to feel heartbroken. I'm going to feel devastated. I'm going to be hurt and disappointed and all of that. But I'm also going to enjoy watching her ass as she walks out the door.
Yeah.
That's what I do. That's the price of admission for what I live, because I don't do monogamy. I don't do cohabitation anymore. And it's because it doesn't work for me. I've done it. I've been married. I've had the long-term relationship where they lived with me. The end results were very similar, even though the women were very different. And I'm like, what's the common denominator? Well, that'd be me. Yeah. So I made choices, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
and that's the part you guys have to get to as well.
You have to accept. Acceptance is the powerful tool, right? And let's say you do have the clairvoyance or you're cognitive enough to start seeing the signs of when a girl's gonna leave you.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I'm not saying give up on the person, but I am saying, just let yourself be swept up. Like, how do I say this? What's the word I'm looking for? I say write it out until you can't anymore, or she can't anymore, right? Like, with my story, I knew it was coming to an end any day now. I was like, okay, well, she has a lot of choice and she's going to replace me, right? But it took her so long, right? And the reason it took her so long is because I didn't ask her for anything. I didn't push myself on her. Whenever she couldn't hang out, I said, okay, that's fine. I didn't make her feel guilty or anything like that. I just simply waited and I enjoyed what I could. And even on the last time I saw her, where she was already with the other guy, I'm sure of it. Maybe 3 months before, or a month or anything, she was already with the other guy. And that poor other guy was like, on February 14th, probably brought her flowers, which is the day she told me she can't see me anymore. Right? Brought her flowers, did all the things, right? And this girl had just seen me a week before. You just gotta go with the flow. Basically that's it. Just go with the flow. You can't control things. You're much better off focusing on self improving yourself, like focusing on your work, business, on the gym. And when she leaves, and you just take the hit, take it to the chin, take it to the jaw. Right? It's gonna suck. Hopefully, you have other prospects lined up, and you deal with it. You simply handle the situation, and it has nothing to do with her. She left because she left, and that's it. Also, it does not mean you're a loser. It does not mean you suck. It does not mean you're bad with women. It does not mean that you're a bad boyfriend, husband, or anything. It just means that she left. That's all. Obviously, maybe down the line, and it's usually it's like when you don't really care anymore, you'll find out why.
Yep.
Right? But it's gonna be when you don't care. When you don't care and you're happy with another set of women or another wife or another girlfriend or whatever, you're gonna look back and be like, that's crazy. I found out one of my exes traded me in for a shorter guy that was a virgin. And you know where I was? I was on a beach in Cancun with another girl.
Right.
Right, and she was rubbing my back, and I was like, "Wow!" Like, and I didn't. I mean, I was like, "Wow!" I was like, "Wow, really?" But I went back to my vacation. You know, like
Yeah.
it just went back to life, and maybe I processed it later. Maybe I was at the airport alone. I was like, "Oh man, why?" But in the moment, I didn't really care anymore. Like, and that's when you usually get your answer. A lot of guys want their answer. Like, they want, because guys, we're obsessed with data and information, facts, right? So when we see a breakup, we want to break it down into, like, nuts and bolts, and like, okay, where did it all start going wrong? Dude, you don't even know. You don't even know. It could have been a year ago, 2 years ago. It could have been last week. It could have been, you don't know. Dude,
And a
let it
lot of
go.
time it has nothing to do with you.
Yeah. And even if it does have something to do with you, if you didn't know, was it really your fault anyway? Like,
Right.
yeah,
And
like,
can you fix it? Quote,
yeah,
put air quotes around fix. Can you fix it? A lot of
yeah.
times you can't. So why beat yourself up over it? You just go, oh, okay. When Kitten, that I wrote about a while
Mhm.
back, she reached out not too long ago. Here I am seeing Velvet and the Belly Dancer, and then fucking out of nowhere, here comes Kitten. And, I was half drunk at the time when I took the phone calls, because it's me. And she, had a bunch of shit to say to me, which was fine. I really didn't think I was going to hear from her again. So it was a pleasant surprise. It's like, oh, it's Kitten. Nice. Answer the call. And I'm like, hello, Kitten. And she's like, whoa. Never mind that I don't delete phone numbers ever,
Yeah.
So I knew it was her. And she wanted to give me this big spiel and blah, blah, blah. And that was great. And it was fine. She invited me to go snow camping, where I'm like, you're out of your fucking mind. And that's not just her, that's any woman that it's like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm 51 years old. I'm not doing that shit anymore.
Hmm.
Anyway, I did get a chance to go, since I got you on the phone, since you called, I have a bone to pick, one bone, and it's about how you ended things, Kitten. You
Hmm.
know, because you knew how I am, and I'm okay with how you are, and you're supposedly okay with how I am. But then it wasn't through your words telling me, hey, I met this other guy, I'd rather
Hmm.
see him. No, it was a Facebook post. It was a picture of you and this dude, and you made a big deal about it. And here's the fun thing, Nuke, and for the chat, because, after I sobered up, I thought about it a bit. And I realized again, it had nothing really to do with me, because, it's the why. Why did you choose
Yeah,
this?
you want your answer. Yeah.
Yeah. Why did you choose this way out of all the fucking ways you could choose? Why this? Why, never mind the guy. I don't give a fuck about the guy. He's irrelevant. But why this way? You could have told me I'm an adult. I would have understood, because that's the price of admission.
Hmm.
So why? She was scared.
And that's a
She wanted
natural biological
something.
thing for women. Yeah.
Yeah, and it is. She wanted something safe.
Exactly.
She wanted the devil that she knew versus the devil she didn't know.
Yeah.
And then it made a lot more sense to me, that I'm like, oh, all right. I can let go of what little teeny tiny bit of anger I've got about this. I can let it go now, because I did get closure, if you will.
Hmm.
She did it because she got fucking scared. And sometimes women do that too, guys. You're dating like Nuke, like me, like other guys. You're dating a bunch of random women. You're doing your thing. You know the price of admission, and then she goes off and finds a short virgin. Why did she choose the short virgin? Well, the short answer, the honest answer, is because she could. All right. The other part, though, may be more complicated because every woman's a little different, but she did it because that's what was safe. That's what, it's that the evil known versus the unknown. It's
Exactly.
the devil that you know versus the devil that you don't.
And here's another thing I will add. Like, it's basically the bad boy blue pill dynamic, right? Um, what women have a choice, and they have to, and it's hard for them to reconcile. Like a lot of women don't make this choice over a day, right?
Oh
It,
no, they don't do it rationally and consciously like
yeah,
we tend to do.
yeah. Like I saw the girl's profile 5 months with pictures that I took of her 5 months before she left me or decided to go with another guy, right? So, um, I knew it was going to be over soon. I just didn't know when. But the fact is that you may think, oh, this girl leaves me, it sucks. But look, this is what she saw from you. She may have saw hairs from other women in your bed. You had unexplained absences, right? It's hard to like text a girl when you're having a great evening with another girl, right? You're not,
Yeah, yeah,
men
yeah.
block men. We don't do
Hearing
that.
a reality.
Yeah, we see one woman in front of us and we focus on her for the night, right?
Hmm.
She also saw that, like maybe you're getting more jacked and handsome, she saw like all comments under your photos from other women that look just as good as her. She saw how sexually experienced you are. These things,
Oh
guys,
yeah, that one's
the
actually kind of a big one, guys.
yeah,
Believe it or not.
she also sees how well put together you are, how like everything she throws at you, you're a karate master, you block her, right? She also sees how well kept you are, your apartment, how well kept your apartment is. These are things that a lot of women are pick up on, and eventually they'll start getting not intimidated like in a fear, but intimidated like this guy. If I stay with this guy, I'm going to get hurt. Which it may not be the case. It may not. It may, but that's how they
That's
see it.
what she's thinking, right?
Right. And so what they do, one of the things they do is to protect themselves is they don't get close to you. They keep their distance from you, right? They keep their options very, very open because, women, even though, consciously speaking, they don't really need a man to live and to eat and all that stuff. But the biology is still running, the firmware is still running, right? So they need that safety and comfort, right? And you think they're going to get safety and comfort from a guy that's living in downtown of a city where there's beautiful women walking around. He's, in shape. He has a good job. His apartment's clean. He's getting likes from women on his pictures. Um, he's exciting every time you see him. He's full of energy and he has sex and he satisfies you completely. And he wakes up in the morning. He also treats you good, which intimidates women a lot more too,
Oh yeah.
because they're like, there's nothing. I have nothing on this guy. I've tried to argue with him. I've tried to see if the women, if he doesn't get attention from women, he does. I've tried to, there's not this guy. If I stay with him, I will have to live in fear of him leaving me every day. So I'm going to take the initiative and slowly set myself up for the next guy. You know, and I'm telling you guys, I know this is like an ego trip. It may seem like an ego trip. It may seem like delusion, but I'm telling you, there are a lot of betas out there. There's a lot of guys that don't work out. There's a lot of guys that don't know game. There's a lot of guys that don't know red pill, don't know anything, and they take these women in, and the women take them because they simply feel safe. Like Rob said, I got left for a guy 6 inches shorter than me, less money, a college graduate, not as well kept as I am, and not even the same race as what me and my girlfriend, ex-girlfriend were, right? And he was a virgin, confirmed because my brother told me through the grapevine, right? And that's okay. And I posted that on Twitter, and everyone's like, "Oh, I would never post something like that." I'm like, "Dude, you don't understand. You don't get it. You
Yep.
don't get it." The point is me not self-deprecating. The point is, hey, they leave because they can. They have their own market pressures and biological pressures they have to respond to. And you know what? 2 weeks before she decided to call it quits, She found a set of panties from another girl in my laundry that she volunteered to do. And that makes sense. That's why I wasn't mad at her. It's not her fault. She needed to make a choice and she
Yep.
made it. Now, will they sometimes regret it? Yeah, women have a need for exciting guys, you know? Um, they have a need. So they'll keep an eye on you. Maybe they'll follow you. Maybe they'll message you every once in a while. Maybe they'll show up here. You know, sorry to say, some women are just like, "Hey, I'm bored. My boyfriend's boring. What are you doing right now?" Right? Or hey, we had a fight that she orchestrated, and all that stuff. The game is dirty. Like you just gotta accept it, and you know it's better to be that guy that gets left because he's just too much than be the guy who receives the girl, you know, be the other side of the coin of hypergamy, right? You want to be the fun guy, and you have to accept as the being the fun guy, the responsibility that comes with being the fun alpha Chad, right? Is that women will leave you all the time because they get it. Women understand who you are. They will leave you not because you suck or not because the other guy's better, simply because they're like, I got nothing on this guy. This guy's gonna hurt me. He's gonna cheat on me. He's gonna leave me, or I'm gonna have to, you know, his boundaries. Like I'm not gonna be able to have fun around this guy. He's gonna be, you know, I'm gonna live in fear. You know, I'm gonna be paranoid, just like you're gonna be paranoid with the girl who you think is gonna leave you. It's gonna be the same thing, right? So that's why they leave you, right? So at the end of the day, um, it you have to accept that nothing is permanent, right? You just move on, take your lumps, mourn, do what you gotta do, and realize that you can't control anyone. And if you do have noticed the signs, just write it out. Protect yourself, right? But write it out, and then eventually, the day will come, and you'll be like, yeah, I mean, what took you so long? Like, yeah, I get it. I don't blame you. I get it. You know. So,
Or you'll
anything
even get
else?
to the point. Well, you'll even get to the point that I've done where you'll see the signs, you'll sense the disturbance in the force, as I keep coming back to because I love that quote. Where instead of waiting for them, which I like your take, Nuke, about, well, you know, it gave me some more sex, it gave me some titties, all that. And this is where you'll figure out your boundaries,
Hmm.
guys. You'll figure out what's acceptable, what's unacceptable, all that shit. Okay. But you can either write it out like Nuke has talked about, and he's not wrong. He's not. Okay. Or you'll get to the point where I'm at, where you're just like, yeah, I don't want to write it out. I'd rather just move on, whatever. And you'll go to her and minus titties, minus the sex, you'll look her straight in the eye and go, do you want to keep seeing me or not? And
Hmm.
whatever her answer is, whatever it may be, you're okay with it. You're okay with no. You're okay with You're okay with whatever. And then you can say, well, you know how to reach me if you want. Take care. And you'll kiss her goodbye and you'll get in your car and you'll fucking leave. Okay. You'll get to the point where you won't even wait for her to end it or drag it out. You'll decide for yourself if you want. Like I said, Nuke's not wrong, but you'll decide for yourself. Fuck it. Because there's always another woman, whether it's another girl you're already seeing or it's some new chick that you haven't met yet. You'll decide, let's move on. And it still hurts. It still sucks because that's what I thought when Teriyaki told me, I was like, damn it. Oh, well, it sucks.
Yeah.
It hurts. 3 days later, I was under another woman.
Yeah.
2 months later, hey, what do you know? I met the belly dancer. Okay. And I've been seeing her now for over a year and a half, plus Velvet on and off, plus a whole bunch of other women. You'll decide. This is the part that you only know it from knowing it.
Yeah.
And that is there's always another woman. They're like buses in some ways. They're all unique and individuals and they're all different and they all will affect you in one way or another. But at the same time, when one walks out the door, There's another one that's going to show up shortly. And you're going to give her a shot. You're going to say, okay, the sins, if you will, the sins of this girl do not apply to this one. They get a clean slate. They get an A on the report card from the day they walk in. It's up to them to fuck it up. And you let go of what this one girl did because she monkey branched or went back to mom and dad or got her own place because, yeah, you're boring or whatever. Doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
You figure it out and you accept it. You don't have to like it. There's a lot of shit I don't like, but I accept it. And you just move on. And you either decide to let them drag it out a little bit, like Nuke. Let them drag it out. This will be fine. Or if you get to my point, because I have less life to live, you know what? I'm going to just call it quits here. And you move on.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a good statement to end this live on.
I agree.
Basically, acceptance is your ultimate superpower, and you have to,
Absolutely.
obviously, as you get better with women and you start picking up on their behaviors, you'll see the signs. But the
Oh, yeah.
important thing is that, like, whether you want to write it out like me or you want to be like Rob and just,
Call it
finish it.
quits when you see the end. Do you want to wait for them or do you just want to call it quits yourself?
Yeah.
You'll decide for yourself and you'll bounce back and forth. You'll do Nuke's strategy, if you will. You'll do mine and you'll go back and forth because I've done them both too.
Yeah.
And you'll figure it out.
You're figuring it out because you're the one out there. You're the man in the arena.
your
You're not
life.
listening to anyone on Twitter on how to live your life, right?
That's right.
You have to be the one to make the decision yourself and suffer the consequences yourself. It's just part of being alive,
That's it. And you're going to be the guy that you're going to realize you get to live with you 24/7, 365. And it doesn't matter what I think or what Nuke thinks or what other random assholes on the internet think or what your family thinks or anything like that. You're going to come to a realization at some point. It's your life. You got to live it on your terms, however that looks for you. And there's always going to be some asshole or somebody in your family or whomever, your best friend, who says, dude, what are you doing? Okay. You have to live with yourself. They don't. And when you figure that one out, then you'll do what you want to do for you, whatever that looks like. Rather, hey, I want to let them end it. Let's see how long this goes on. Yeah. Or if you decide, fuck it, I got shit to do. Whatever that looks like, you'll figure that out for yourself.
Yep. All right, Rob. Thanks for coming on the show. Plug in all your stuff and let them know where they can find you.
Hey, right here, RobSays.net. That's it. That's the flagship. That's where everything is. The links to the YouTube, links to the blog, all that shit. It's all there.
All right. Cool. So, guys, give Rob a follow on YouTube. You probably already follow him if you follow me.
Also, yeah, if you're following us on Twitter, we're all part of the same incestuous circle.
Yeah,
it's all one big jerk.
Yeah, and we're having a lot of fun on Twitter lately. A lot of fun tweets and stuff. So, be sure to tune in. And I don't have a schedule for lives yet, but I'll try to do these more often. Because honestly, these are very fun, and I just like talking. Hearing myself talk. I guess
that's why I almost gave up on pre-produced videos. It's like the payout is way better doing this shit.
Yeah. So if you guys want to find me, you have my Twitter here on the screen. Follow me there. And or you probably already follow me on YouTube. More content to come, and then we'll just keep it going. There's so much to talk about, and just make sure that you guys are doing, you guys are learning. I can't teach you game. I can't teach you about life. You have to experience it. I can only trade notes with you and connect the dots, right? So thanks for watching, guys, and it's been a pleasure, Rob, and hopefully we can have you back soon.
At Nuke, anytime, brother.
Yeah.
Anytime.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and have a good night.
When you're lonely, am I ever on your mind? I'm constantly